Welcome to Docs and Dialogues, where the intersection of aesthetics and wellness meet. I'm Dr. Irfan. With me today, Dr. Max here in Westwood Clinic. We are talking about, in this recent episode, how sleep affects our skin health. So, to kickstart the conversation, right, Dr. Max, how does our sleep pattern definitely affect our skin health? Any thoughts?
Actually, our body has got a mechanism called the circadian rhythm, which actually dictates that every organ system in our body has got its own time to rest and relax, in short.
Exactly.
So, it's very important that we follow, this circadian rhythm, to promote our overall general well-being and also, of course, skin health.
Okay.
All right? Like, for example, getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep a day definitely helps in promoting a good skin health. It also promotes a better organ health because, for example, liver detox time, according to circadian rhythm, is between 11 p.m. to 2 a.m.
So how does this sleeping pattern and this whole process of liver detoxification, you think, in your opinion, affects our skin health specifically?
If your liver detox time is missed, let's just say you sleep well after 2 a.m. in the morning. So your liver has got no chance to detox. So whatever toxic metabolic waste products, it will stay in your body.
Yep.
And you will make your skin appears more dull, and dry, and also appears not healthy too.
Yes, exactly. So the point that I was trying to get at from you, when we talk about liver detoxification, we are talking about a lot of processes happen. Like basically, when we sleep, is one of the most complex thing that is happening to a human body. Actually,
Yes,
physiologically,
definitely can agree on that.
Right? A lot of process happens.
Yeah.
And a lot of these processes either benefits or it harms the skin. But when we talk about sleeping in this pattern that we're talking about, right, you need between 6 to 8 hours of sleep every day, and this is well rested sleep. Because for those who are watching at home, sleep itself has a few phases.
Yes.
Okay, it's not like you fall asleep, you turn off the lights, you sleep, and that's it. The whole process happens all at once. It doesn't, right? The optimal 6 to 8 hours is very important. So a lot of the processes, when we talk about we talk about liver detoxification, we are talking about removal of waste from the body, removal of toxic waste from the body. So blood circulation, lymphatic circulation in the body happens when we sleep. For an example, right, when we are sleeping, the skin is regenerating, constantly regenerating. We are talking about the outermost layer of the skin, your stratum corneum, which holds the moisture on the skin, happens when we're sleeping, right? The whole process of building collagen and elastin, right, is increased when we are sleeping, right? And for all these processes to take place, the body or the blood circulation expands. Our blood vessels dilates when we sleep, right? And the importance of that is that it carries all the oxygen, nutrients required for all these processes to happen. So just to start there, sleeping actually allows your body to carry those processes. So yes, I agree with you. Towards the end, the outcome is if you don't you have lack of sleep, your blood vessels don't carry enough nutrients or oxygen to the required cells to carry out these processes. Your skin become more pigmented, more dull, less hydrated. That is number one. But number two, when we talk about drainage, when we talk about detoxification, the body detoxifies when we are sleeping, right? We have this whole, aside from our blood circulatory system, we have this lymphatic system.
Yes.
So it's a web of circulation that happens all throughout the body, where it expels all the toxic and metabolic waste. And our skin absorbs because the largest surface area we have on our body is our skin. So we absorb a lot of metabolites, a lot of toxic waste. We accumulate as we go about our daily life, every day. So when we sleep, it allows that lymphatic system to expel all that waste. So all these things that you get from all the dirt, all the exposure that you get from the sun, all the sweat, the oil, everything that then gets on your skin, right? Absorbed by the skin to some extent, gets removed when you are sleeping. That's the only time when the body gets enough time to expel all these issues, right?
Yeah. Pertaining to the phases of sleep, right, Dr. Irfan, that you mentioned just now, right? There is actually called when we deep sleep phase, okay? So when our body enters the deep sleep phase, okay? And inside the deep sleep phase, right, there's also another phase called as slow wave sleep, okay? Now, within the slow wave sleep phase, okay, the pituitary glands, that means the specific glands which is responsible for secreting growth hormones, okay, in our body, releases pulsatile bursts of growth hormones. Now, this is very important, okay, for stimulating cellular repair, regeneration, okay, and the synthesis of the essential proteins in our body.
True.
Yeah.
In relation to skin health, right? Let's talk about how it helps with regards to the appearance of aging, right? Because appearance of aging comes when you start to have wrinkles, the skin becomes more loose.
Correct.
Right? The skin becomes more loose, the face sags, your fat pads on the face shrinks. So those kind of things actually adds on to the appearance of aging, right? How do you think sleep or your sleeping pattern, your sleeping habits necessarily help in that sense?
Okay. So pertaining to what you mentioned just now, Dr. Irfan, right? Okay, for the wrinkles formation and the signs of aging and all, is closely related to the loss of collagen. Okay. Now,
true.
when we have enough of sleep, 6 to 8 hours every night,
Okay.
you will promote a process called nightly restoration. Okay, where fibroblast, okay, is actually produced in sufficient amount to stimulate collagen synthesis in our body. Particularly, collagen type 1 provides tensile strength. Okay.
So
Type
tensile
3,
strength is the one that helps you to pull and makes the skin more firm, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And type 3 collagen, okay, which is actually responsible for supporting the skin's elasticity. All right. So this is nightly restoration.
Also, just to add a little bit on that, when we are talking about wrinkles, the other thing that actually is happens when we sleep is that certain towards the last 4 hours ish of our sleep, right? In that whole entire 8-hour cycle, there's an increase in stimulation of hyaluronic acid production.
Yes.
And hyaluronic acid, we know very well, it's good for moisture. It helps to absorb water, maintain hydration, and at the same time, hyaluronic acid is also the building block. For those who don't know, hyaluronic acid also is a building block to creating your collagenous bands, right?
Yes.
So in this case, that is also the process that happens when you sleep, right? Also, when we sleep, getting back to something that we've talked about in the past, the role of cortisol on our skin, right?
Yes.
Because hormones get regulated when we sleep, right?
Correct. So Dr. Irfan has already mentioned a very good point over there regarding sleep and cortisol relationship. All right. Now, during early phases of sleep, okay, our cortisol level will be effectively reduced as we enter into a more relaxed state.
Yes. So for those who don't know, cortisol is basically, and we've discussed this in the past, cortisol is basically your stress hormone, right?
Yes.
It gets doubled, tripled when you're in a very stressful environment. In this case, when you're relaxed, cortisol drops really quickly, and especially it gets regulated when you sleep.
Correct.
Okay, so go on. Sorry.
So, as you progress deeper into the sleep, right, the pro-inflammatory cytokines will also be reduced, okay, efficiently and in large amounts. So, when the cortisol level and also pro-inflammatory cytokines levels are reduced, okay, it will start to promote a better overall skin health condition by reducing the risk of inflammation. Meaning to say that if you are lack of sleep, okay, the cytokines inflammatory cytokines and also the cortisol levels, okay, will continue to be at the high levels. If they maintain at higher levels, right, constantly, it will bring a very deteriorating effect to our skin.
Yeah.
When we are talking about dark circles and we are talking about eye bags in particular, which is actually the major concern for a lot of people, especially ladies, young working ladies, okay, so we have to understand what is actually causing all these dark circles and puffy eye bags. Yeah. So, Dr. Irfan has already mentioned a point just now that when we are sleeping, it promotes our blood circulation in a way that it promotes vasodilation. It's a phenomenon where your blood vessels simply just becomes bigger. Now, this is very important when we talk about microcirculation. Now, the area around our eyes, right, has got a lot of fine capillaries. These are called as microcirculations. So these small blood vessels will effectively be bigger when we are sleeping to allow the nutrients to be carried to the specific parts of the skin. Now this can only happen when you have enough of sleep. So that's why people will say if you have enough of sleep, right, your dark circles will be effectively lesser and more faded. Okay? Eye bags, on the other hand, it's again pertaining to the point that Dr. Irfan has already mentioned just now, the lymphatic system. Okay? As he has correctly mentioned just now, right, the lymphatic system is a complex network, okay, of the fluids and limbs, okay? Alright? The lymph fluids and the lymph nodes, okay? Now, when we are asleep, this will effectively cause the better drainage of the lymphatic fluids away from our human body, as mentioned by Dr. Irfan just now, to promote excretion of metabolic waste. So, if you have adequate of sleep, okay, all the lymphatic fluids that are accumulated under the eye will be effectively drained out. So, this can prevent eye bag formation.
Westwood Clinic.